What if you had all of the tools to manage your podcast right at your fingertips? This is what we are designing with NorthFlow, and I want to tell you all about it. Welcome back to As It Relates to Podcasting. I'm Simona, host of the show, and today I'm sharing with you something really, really cool, really, really important that I have had the absolute honor and privilege to be a part of, which is bringing NorthFlow to life. A few months ago, the NorthFlow team had asked me if I would come in on the project and help bring it to market, which has been so, so cool. And honestly, not something that I've really talked about a whole lot on the podcast, on my social media, or anything like that. But today, I want to share with you a little bit of behind the scenes. And what you're going to hear is a conversation between Taly and I. And Taly is also one of the NorthFlow founders. And we're talking about why having a podcast project management system is important, but more than that, how NorthFlow actually helps you with your podcast project management. So we would love for you to book a demo call with us so we can show you the product. Whether you're a podcaster, an agency owner, small business, or a corporate podcast, this is for you. So let's get into today's conversation. Hi, Taly. Welcome to our weekly update.
Hey, Simona. Hope all is well.
Things are good. And today we are joining our NorthFlow community, and we're going to be talking about why have a podcast management system and why it actually matters. Just right off the bat, I mean, we're creating this product, we're creating this software, we're creating this system to help podcasters streamline their production. But a lot of the times it can be like, well, I don't actually need this thing, or I have a process that already works and it's good enough. You know what I mean? Like it's good enough. Have you
Yeah.
heard that?
Yes, many times. As we talked the
Mhm.
past year with different people, we've heard that a lot.
It's so interesting to me because when you have something that's good enough and something that works, that's great. But then what happens when you have something that elevates your process and helps you take everything to the next level? And that's what we're doing over here at NorthFlow. So today we wanted to share with you 5 different points of why having a podcast project management system is really important, and honestly, how NorthFlow can help you do some of that. And the very first thing that we came up with was how it helps keep you organized. Do you want to say anything about that right off the bat?
So, the way that it keeps you organized is because you don't have to be dealing with a bunch of different emails to keep track of the files that your clients are sending. Or if you're doing an interview with someone, you don't have to keep track of everything on email, different email threads, or, sometimes they'll answer a question on Instagram instead of sending an email replying to that question that you asked before. With
Mhm.
NorthFlow, you'll be able to have all of that in one place, and you will have different tasks specifically for the subject that you're talking about. Another thing too that we will have on NorthFlow is all your assets in one place. So
Mhm.
if you're getting an image for a guest that you're going to be interviewing, or if your client has something that they want to share with you that they want you to post it on social media later on after the episode is live, you'll be able to have all of those assets connected to that specific episode. That's one way to help you keep organized within NorthFlow.
I love that. And as an agency owner myself, when we're producing shows or we're managing client episodes and communication and all that, we had to develop a system, and it works okay, but there's always room for improvement. And the system that we were on before was not NorthFlow. So that system before was the one that was just okay. And then this, software system that we're using now, it's awesome because you put in your episode and it automatically generates the workflow for you. It creates all of the different templates that you need. It creates all the tasks that you need. And also, you can assign different tasks to people. So you're never missing a step when you're planning all of your episodes because everyone knows exactly what they need to do, when they need to do it by, and the order in which the tasks come in. And so, whether you're an agency owner as well, or if you're a solo podcaster, or maybe you're working with a team of one or two, that is really powerful because staying organized and planning is one of the biggest keys to podcasting success. So I think it's really important to remember that. And then you also touched on how it saves you time, and definitely having automations built in. Do you want to talk a little bit about why the automations were important from the get-go?
Yes. So, one thing's with the animation, like whenever you're creating a template, for example, if you set a task to be, let's say, 3 days, next time that you use this template, based on the start of the the production, it automatically like calculates when that 3 days will fall into.
Mm,
And if you have that assigned to someone in your team, they will get a notification letting them know that they need to start working on that task because it'll be due soon. And then everything that comes after that basically automatically does the tracking of like how long it takes, and it gives you like an estimate based on like, okay, you'll be able to get this done on time versus like, hey, you're going to take a little longer than what you're planning on, like to launch this episode, for example.
100%. And also too, having the repetitive tasks is really, really key as well, because one thing, especially within the agency, is that we always have tasks that need to happen every single week, every single episode, whether we're doing the planning phase, the editing phase, the content creation phase, or sending out the information to the guests. Everything has its flow, right? Everything has its order. And so when you have repetitive tasks, the things that we're doing over and over and over again, you don't miss a beat. You don't have to guess, oh, did I do this task? Did I do this thing? Is this complete? You just look at your dashboard and it tells you everything that you need to know. And that really leans itself well into collaboration, right? Collaborating between your guests, your clients, your team. So, can you explain a little bit how the collaboration piece works on NorthFlow?
So we have two different ways that we're going to be doing collaboration. One is, let's say you're working, you're about to interview someone and you don't really need them to join as part of your team because you're going to interview them once. And instead of creating an account for them, you just send them an invite and they're going to get an email with a special link. And then from there, they'll be able to communicate with you. They'll be able to upload any assets. They'll be able to answer any question. So you don't have to worry about like getting them an account or paying for that account or anything like that. Now, if you want to collaborate with someone on your team, you can actually add them as an actual part of your team. And then that's when you can actually assign different things to them and they'll have their own list of tasks that they can go there and check what they need to work on. So those are two different ways that you can do collaboration within NorthFlow right now.
That's awesome. That is so, so, so good. And here's the thing, because a lot of the times when you have other project management softwares, there's some things that you don't want people to see, but they will see. And so this helps, especially from a guest point of view. If you just want them to see, here's your episode and here's your social media content, then that's like the only thing that they have to see. Whereas
Correct.
something like Trello, for example, and on Trello, I invite them, but they see everything when it comes to like admin and all of that stuff, which is fine and which is good, I guess. But I don't really want people to see all of that stuff. You know what I mean? Even from like a
Yeah.
client point of view. And also, here's the other thing that I will say about that. When we used the Trello side and stuff like that, we wouldn't really bring in guests onto Trello. It was mostly just the client, but then it creates an extra step, right? So we would create all
Yeah.
of our social media content, would put it in Trello, the client would review it, right? And they're going through and reviewing everything. And then on top of that, afterwards, I had to go and download all the social media content, put it into the Google Drive, share that Google Drive folder with the guest. And it's just like so clunky.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now we have a way that we've streamlined the whole process and save you time, keeping people organized, collaborating. It's amazing. And it also helps scale with you. So let's talk a little bit about how NorthFlow can continue to grow with you as you continue to manage your podcast, grow your show, or so on.
So, when it comes to actually growth and being able to grow, in this case, let's say your agency, with NorthFlow, like you'll be able to have everything organized, as we mentioned before, but that also gives you like the ability to take on more clients, and meaning you'll have a better ROI and you'll be able to, let's say Sally is working with you, but Sally's taking a week off. Somebody else can jump in and be able to do what Sally was pending on working on for that week, right? This gives you a good view of what's happening, and also it helps you continue to grow your agency as you bring new people to work with you or new clients, whichever one you do. It will help you empower your team also to stay organized and be able to take on more episodes at a time.
I love that. And that also goes right beautifully into our last point, which is that it empowers growth, right? It helps agencies continue to grow. It helps your show continue to grow. It helps your
Mhm.
downloads continue to grow. Your digital footprint continue to grow. Your connection with people, everything starts with a concrete and a really solid foundation, you are so clear on where you're going to go next that when you continue to put the time in to get things organized to begin with, it's only natural that you'll continue to grow, right? People, whether
Yes.
they'll say it or not, they love systems and they love processes. Even if you say, like, well, I don't like systems, I don't like processes, I just fly by the seat of my pants. You that may be a thing, but then also if something is introduced to you to help you streamline, it comes so much easier without you having to actually go in and write it all out yourself. So again, going back to things like task management, having templated cards that when you put in an episode, all of your tasks show up automatically. Those things really matter and they make a big impact. So, is there anything else last minute that you want to add in?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, you brought up a good point because you mentioned, like, if you like to fly by, what was the quote
Fly
again?
by the seat of your pants.
Yes, which I love. I never heard that one before. But if you are one of those, you technically could still use NorthFlow too, because let's say you're doing an episode that's a little different than the usual. You can change the tasks, the different orders, and things like that. You don't have to
Very
always
true.
be married to that template. You can have, the freedom to change things around as well. So we try
I
to
love
make it
that.
very flexible that would work for someone that's very good with process, that loves to stay on track with process, or for, more creative side that likes to kind of, what is it, the quote?
Fly by the seat of your pants.
Love it. But yeah,
That's so
that's a
true.
little bit of, some of the stuff that we have going on in Northflow.
Awesome. I love it so much. And, as one final thought, I was thinking while you were saying that, once you have, a template on one show, especially if you're an agency owner or if you're a podcaster that you manage more than one show, you produce more than one show for your own self, or you have different businesses and you have more than one show in those different businesses, even if you're a corporation, you know what I mean? Managing your corporate podcast, like all of these things are so important. But what I was going to say is each individual show can have different flows for each show type, right? So if
That's
show
correct.
A has 15 different tasks, show B might have 27, right? And it's all different based
Mhm.
off of the show. So I think that's important to add as well. So on that note, Taly, I think our viewer today, part of our Northflow community, should book a demo call. What do you think?
Yes, I think that would be a great idea. And it would be so nice to hear from you and just get some of your insights on what we are building so far and, some of the stuff that we're going to be building in the future as well. We're really looking forward to 2025.
It's gonna be so good. Last week we were going through like the testing phase of the product and kind of, going through step by step and seeing how everything works, how the onboarding works, how everything is going. And it's so cool. And so if you book a demo, you actually get to see all of this stuff firsthand and you get to be part of the process of shaping NorthFlow into what it'll be and what it'll become. So I'm really excited about that.
Yes, me too. I hope to talk to you guys soon. And if you have any feedback, let us know.
Thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode. I want to know what you think of the product. Please book a demo. The link is in the episode notes below. If you have any questions at all, just send me an email or find me on Instagram and we can connect there. Thank you so much for tuning in. And why don't you book that demo call so we can make your podcasting workflow way easier with NorthFlow?